Okay, can everybody hear me okay? Yeah? All right. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Reverend Patricia Roller. We have quite a few new faces here this morning. Welcome. Welcome very much. We're going to start out by just taking a nice deep breath. And being very present and finding our center within ourselves. You know, we're going to start to open sacred space within us this morning. That's right. Then open sacred space in this room. Sacred space in this world where there's only love. Oh, Spirit, oh Creator, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to have the physical form, to find souls who are on the same path, and together we help others discover the sacred space within themselves. We ask that our minds and our ears and our hearts and our whole aura be open this morning. Just open to receiving whatever comes, whatever is ours to take in, what's ever ours to take away out into the world. We just bless that. And this morning we give a special blessing to ourselves. How grateful we are to ourselves. Deep, deep gratitude, and so it is. Amen. Okay, so we're going to do something a little different this morning. We're having a song after the announcements and the giving, so as you get your gift ready for sacred space. If you're new to us, this might be new to you because usually spiritual centers do their giving on the, after the service, but we do this for a reason. We give our giving on the front side because we always show up on the front side for everything. So, we always say, as the basket comes around, please don't let it pass. Whether you are giving money or love, whatever it is, put your hand over the basket and just bless the basket as it goes around this morning. So, and the giving, that might be a new title for some people. Some places call it a tithe. We don't call it a tithe. We call it sacred giving. If you're new, on the very back wall, there are brochures about sacred space and about our services. And because we do Wednesday night services at 6:30, we have different services. For example, we have a little bit of a change. Instead of music and meditation on the first Wednesday now, we'll be doing Sat Song with me, and I will be doing a traditional Sat Song. If you're not familiar with what a Sat Song is, Sat is from the root to know, and Song is from Sangha, community. So to be in knowing community. And then Rebecca is going to do, I think, some opening of Deva Premal and some closing of Deva Premal with maybe some Agare, for those of you who remember that. It's going to be a really special time. The second Wednesday of every month, Reverend Robin and I, we do Intuitive Night. That's also at 6:30. That's here. The third Wednesday is Night of the Mystics, and that's with me also. I talk about mystical practices. And then the fourth is a guest speaker and what we call wise soup. So we serve free soup, and we offer a guest speaker. And so our guest speaker for this month for wise soup is Reverend J. Smith Jr., and he is going to be talking about Lilydale, and talking about some of his experiences in Lilydale and the metaphysics and the spiritualist community. So, some of the other things that are coming up, we had Tim King here last night, who is an award-winning photojournalist. His book is Betrayal, and it's on the buffet back there. So Terry's holding it up. Terry's got the copy. So there's 3 copies left back there. It's $20. If you want that, there's an envelope there. Just put your cash or check to Tim King. And then right by the office door is a little suggestion or payment box. You just can pop it in there.
That's $5 less than you can put on Amazon.
Right. It's $5 less than you can get it on Amazon. That's right. Earth Keepers is still going on. I think Larry is still accepting new people. So if you are interested in the INCO program, that will be Monday, tomorrow, at 6:30, and it'll be right here. And it's a year-long class. It's a very, very phenomenal class. And then we have a Lakota program coming up. So we have an introduction to the Lakota program I'm just telling you that ahead of time. It is the 19th. It is at 6:30, and I believe that'll be upstairs. So if you're interested in the Lakota tradition, that would be a really great thing. Let me just see if there's anything else here. You know, there's a lot of stuff here, but
There's a hand raised.
what's that?
Hi.
Hi.
We have dates.
Oh, you have
Yeah.
dates for the youth program?
Yeah.
Yay! Tell me about it.
Okay, so we have the second Monday and the fourth Tuesday. I don't remember what the numbers are, but at 6:30.
Okay. Okay, good. So I don't know if they got into the newsletter or not, but hopefully they did. So I'll talk with Trina, and that's my segue.
It's September.
We have a new, well, that's upside down. We have a new newsletter format. This is the Sacred Space copy, but if you're interested in receiving our newsletter, there's a sign-up sheet on the buffet back there, and I send it out via email. So I don't like to print out copies. I try to save paper where I can. So, but anyway, there you can take a look at this. Yeah.
Also, there's going to be a meeting after the service. Were you going to say that already?
Yes.
Sorry,
Okay,
go
please
ahead.
do. No, please do.
Fall Carnival Planning Committee. We're just forming the committee, so if you're interested or have ideas, you can either see me or just stay after.
Or just stay after.
Yeah, we'll be talking about the date today.
Yes. That's going to be a big thing, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Well, it's so exciting. It
I
sounds like
know.
fun. Oh my gosh. Do you guys remember when you were kids going to the fall carnival? I do when I was in elementary school. We had to eat blocks.
Yes.
Do a little thing over the screen, you know, for fishing. It's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
I do have to announce this coming Saturday there is going to be an Aura Play Shop with Sandy Buchanan, and that's from 10:30 to 3:30. It's $35, and she has a biofeedback machine where you hook into it, and then it reads your aura, and then it pops out all these pages, and then she sits down with you one-on-one and explains the readings from the aura readings. So that is really special. Yeah, I guess that's about it for now. So let's go ahead and. I think the baskets already went around, but I'm just going to ask you to hold your hands together. Thank you. Thank you, Spirit, for the gifts that come into sacred space. Thank you to each soul who put in. We pay our bills through the money. We hold our community together with the love. Everything that you put into this community is important. Every time that you give, and we're saying this with Spirit, every time that you give of yourself, whatever it is, you're acknowledging that you're abundant. You're acknowledging that there's no lack in your world, no lack in your consciousness, no lack in your outer reality. And we know this to be true. We know that we stand forward as creators of our own reality. We accept that. We stand proud in that. We hold our arms open wide and say, come on, let's play. Let's play without fear, let's play with love, and let's play with gratitude, and so it is. Amen. All right, so we have special songs. Some of you have done it before, but Om Namo Bhagavate, right?
Yeah, I decided rather than having special music and a congregational song, let's just do Om Namo Bhagavate. Let's take our time and use it for that. So again, who's new to Om Namo Bhagavate? Good, yeah. Okay, so just say it with me. Om Namo Bhagavate. Om Namo Bhagavate. Then the second part is Vasu Devaya. Vasu Devaya. And then the middle section is very simple. I can get this quite easily. Because the one I love lives inside of you. I lean as close to you as I can. Here we go. Om Namo Bhagavate. This is Shantala's version. Because there are many versions of Om Namo Bhagavate. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you too. It's a call and response. So I'll sing, and then you respond. Unless you really want to call rather than do the response, you're more than welcome to do that. But if you are new to this, Carrie will be doing the response part, so you can sing along with her also. Yes? Oh, and not all of it is call and response. When we get to Because the One I Love Lives Inside of You, we sing all that together. Thank you. What, huh?
You just follow Terry.
Yes, that is a good way to go. You got it, yes, thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate. Om Namo Bhagavate. Vasudevaya. Vasudevaya. Om Namo Because the one I love lives inside of you.
Let's take a nice deep breath. Thank you. Thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate is perfect to start out the talk this morning about compassion. It takes us deep inside because the one I love lives inside of you. Lives inside of me too. I lean as close to you as I can. Before I start, I have a confession to you. I know. This is Mary Lou. When I came in this morning, I saw you upstairs doing healing. I know, me too. Thank you for the gift this morning.
I'd like to thank Mary Lou and Celine.
No, so Philip and Mary Lou and Celine, where you at? Yeah, my goodness. Thank you so much for the work you do upstairs. 10:15 to 10:45. If you haven't, received healing upstairs, you really should go out. It's a phenomenal experience. But my confession is, Mary Lou brought lemon cucumbers.
Wow. I knew that was coming.
I know, Joanne, I gotta come clean. But see, the problem was she brought it in one bag, and Joanne handed the bag to me. And Joanne says, I have something. And I said, oh, thank you. And she says, I think Mom meant it for everybody. I said, I think you must be mistaken. So Mary Lou said, did you get the cucumbers? I said, yes, I did. And where are they at? I said, in my office. So, okay, confession, if you really want a lemon cucumber, come see me after service.
Really?
Yeah, maybe I'll share. All right, okay, now I can get that off. So today we're talking about compassion, and if you're new here, we're not always talking about one thing. If you've seen on our wall back there, we have, something from almost every tradition. So we talk about Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity. We believe there's one center and all paths go to the center. So at Sacred Space, we can explore that and what that might look like. Compassion. I remember in the 80s, we thought it was a big thing. Do you remember the T word? Tolerance.
Oh.
Remember that? But in the 80s, we thought that was huge. I mean, that was a huge step. That was a whole new paradigm. We were going to be tolerant of each other, right? So we thought that was huge because we moved from dislike and hate or whatever it was we were feeling, that uncomfortableness, to this big new paradigm called tolerance. And tolerance became this key word for so many. And I mean, it would be in the schools, it would be in the workplace, and we thought we were really progressive until we woke up one morning, and it kind of seems like that, doesn't it? It's so gradual, and in one way, and in another way, our awareness is becoming so much quicker, and our awareness of our world and ourselves so much faster, and the vibration is so much higher now. So we woke up one morning, and we went, what? What do you mean we're tolerating each other? That's terrible, right? That's terrible. Okay, so then we started listening to maybe the Dalai Lama. Oh, what was that word he was saying? Oh, compassion. And what does that look like? So I'm going to kind of work off of something that came out of the Shambhala Sun publication. It's called Compassion and Wisdom, and it's by the Venerable Khandra Rinpoche. So I'm going to read this in 3 sections, then we're going to talk about it. So here's what he has to say. Whether we call it compassion, love, caring, or a Buddhist term such as bodhicitta, it means the same thing, that in your actions, speech, and thought, you put others before yourself. All right, we'll just all take a nice deep breath there. Others before yourself. Some of us practice meditation to achieve this understanding. Others are able to understand this without formal meditation. But no matter how good compassion sounds when you talk about it really comes down to practicing it. And no one understands you as well as you do. You need the wisdom to look inward to see what kind of a person you are. Okay. So I see we have we have the children coming out of the children's program. Is everything okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
Mama.
Okay. All right. Happy birthday, Henry. Yesterday. Okay. So here's what he's saying. You know, when I work with the students, a lot of times one of the things they have the hardest time around is meditation. Right? Because maybe meditation looks like this. And then we have monkey mind. Or maybe we have to sit in a certain way. Or maybe we have to hold our mouth just right. Right? Or maybe we don't need to do any of that. What if I told you that there's all these different ways to meditate, but if you can bring your mind to focus right here and right now and be present, that's a form of meditation. If you can stay centered with me today and let the words come into your heart and open your heart, and then you take the energy and let it flow back out, that also is meditation. There's all different forms of meditation. There's a meditation called japa in Hinduism, and japa is saying the one name of God, like Ram, 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 Ram. And in Hinduism, it's a belief that, you know, if you do this with the right intent, at some point you get enlightenment because you're focusing on the name of God. That's meditation. If you're noticing your breath right now going in and out, or that silence right there, that's meditation. There's walking meditation. I ask students sometimes to do walking meditation, where you just notice where your next footstep's going without being attached to it. That's meditation. So what I'm asking you to do is not get hung up on what you think meditation is, because then you think, I can't do that. Own your own meditation, even if it's just noticing your breath, or if it's just bringing yourself back to center when you were spinning. Ah, that was a journey, right? I was out there spinning like a whirling dervish. Now I'm back. Hello. That's meditation. That's mindfulness. You know, here's something I wanted to qualify right here. He says, it means the same thing, that your action, speech, and thought, you put others before yourself. I want to explain that a little bit. That doesn't mean that if you're a mom or dad, or a husband or wife, or a friend, whatever your role is that you give of yourself so much that you have nothing of yourself left. That is not what he's saying. Okay, that's called martyrdom. that's a whole different service. Okay, but you know, we give, and we think it selflessly, and then we have nothing left. That's not what he's talking about. He's talking about giving of yourself to others without needing to, you know, get feedback. Like for healing, right? When I teach a Reiki class, when I've taught a Reiki class, you know, one of the things I tell the students is, don't check in. How do you feel? Right? How do you feel? Oh, I feel great. Great. That's not what he's talking about. Giving of yourself, meaning you're not attached to whatever is coming before you. Not attached to what's going on around you. In fact, compassion, actually, true compassion can look almost sterile. It can look like it's not heart-centered. It's the most heart-centered act. But because it's not attached to the outcome, It doesn't need things to be a certain way or to show up a certain way. It can just hold space. You know, we're kind of from a fix-it society, aren't we? It's like, if you've got a boo-boo, I'm going to fix it. I've got a Band-Aid for that, spiritual Band-Aid, emotional Band-Aid, whatever. I can't stand to see you hurt, so I'm going to fix it. That's not compassion. Compassion, let me go on and read a little bit more. Compassion means letting go of your self-identity, letting go of proving that identity all the time. Compassion means you work in the way the wind works. Oh, this is beautiful. Or the sun works, or the air works. Take for example how the air assumes the shape of the room. Oh, just do that for a minute. Just wow, is that cool? How the air assumes the shape of the room. The air does not say, I will give you this breathing space provided you breathe the way I want. Everyone enjoys the benefit of being able to breathe in the air. It is the same way with the sun. The sun does not stop shining when there are clouds in the sky. Right? Wow. So compassion doesn't go like this. Okay, I'm going to be really compassionate, but here are the ground rules. Right? There's no ground rules for compassion. In fact, I can't remember where I read it, but there was a Buddhist monk in one of the prisons, and they were kind of talking with the Buddhist monk, and I don't know whether he was out now or what, but he was very troubled. And the biggest reason why he was troubled was he couldn't find full compassion for those who were torturing him. Full compassion for those who were torturing him. Viktor Frankl, if you've ever read Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning, he was in the concentration camps. And he was talking, he came up with a psychology called logotherapy. And it was about suffering and about compassion. And as he was in the camps, he wrote about those who survived and those who didn't. And those who survived actually had given up of themselves. And they were in a very compassionate state. In fact, one day as they were going along on the work, whatever they were doing, and the guards were beating and doing these horrific things, remember, these people are very emaciated, right? There's not much energy left in them, and the beating goes on, and all these things happen, and Viktor Frankl, he's getting beaten too, and all of a sudden, this awareness comes over him, and he had this, you ready? This extreme love for the guards who were beating. And he got to see who they were. And I say this a lot. I love this line, whether you believe Jesus died on the cross or not, that's not what I'm going into here. This line, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. When people do things that are out of context of their soul identity, of their deep divinity, they don't know what they're doing. We don't need people to be a certain way. We can just be an awareness of ourselves and of others. We might have a thought, and then we can bring ourselves back to center, can't we? This is what he's talking about. He's saying that, the air is here in the room, being air. It's showing up as air. And you're breathing it in, and you're breathing it out, and the air asks nothing of you. Now, you can't go to the air. What I'd like to do is breathe in rose-scented air today. Could you do that for me? No, air just keeps showing up, doesn't it? And that's what compassion asks you to do. Just show up. You don't have to show up with the super cape. No, right? Oh, what was that? Puppy power. That was Underdog. I thought it was Superman, but no, I got this little. All right. It's not asking you to show up. We're not showing, we don't have to show up with a cape. We just show up. I heard that, and that was just adorable, Rebecca. Yeah, I'm just telling you that. We just show up. And many days, I don't know how I'm going to show up. I just do the very best I can. And I show up, and I'm really human. And here comes the next part of it for me. As within, so without. it's okay out here, but if you don't learn it in here first, right? It's really not going to show up out here. So, how many are truly compassionate with themselves? Nice. Okay, 100% of the time? Right?
Okay.
But here's what I'd like you to notice. I'd like you to move, because here's where many people are. They're in the toleration phase, and they think they're doing pretty good. I'm not saying you're not. But, you're kind of tolerating yourself. You're moving from negative self-talk to this kind of sort of toleration. Oh, okay. Well, you're doing the very best you can, Patricia. Bravo. Right? Right? That's tolerating. That's not compassion. When you find yourself crumbling, or that you just think, you know what? Nobody should like me because if they really knew who I was, right? If they really knew all my faces, nobody would be my friend. Those are the times that you need to take your inner self, hold it on your big compassionate Buddha lap, and just hold on. Just hold on until the pain releases. Because it will release. Because you are beautiful. We are all beautiful. And our different faces show up for different reasons, and they teach us. And we don't have to flog ourselves for that. They teach us. So compassion here first. If you don't have it here first, out here, you might get it once in a while, but it's not sustainable. That's not true compassion. Compassion is allowing whatever moves up in you, just like the air. You just notice it. You just notice it. And if you don't like what you're seeing, you just love it anyway. Hug it. Because your love is going to transform it, right? Now, who in here knows who they need to be? Anybody know who they need to be? Yeah. So what does that look like? Pure love. And can you do that 100% of the time? 98% of the time. But were you always able to do that?
I think I always have been. I think I haven't forgotten.
And so can you explain what you mean by forgotten?
I think sometimes there have been opportunities where people have told me how I should be, and it wasn't done, or I didn't know better. Other times where I judge how I feel, and I think that that's something else outside myself. Other times that maybe I felt like I didn't have my needs met. I felt I was a lack. I forget my sources of what it is. It's all one. It's all, everything's available. So I go back to everything's from there. That's it, there's only one thing.
There is only one thing. Thank you, Desiree. So, none of us really can remember how we or know how we should be. What Desiree is pointing out, and what I'm trying to get to here, is this: it's about remembering, because we forget. There is only one. And that's what we teach. There's only one. And these are all the many aspects of the one. The gorgeous ways that spirit shows up in individual form. Everywhere. And it's not about needing things to be anyway, or to how listening to people, as Desiree says, how we think they should be. It's about coming back to that deepest part of ourselves. And for me, when I think about that, it's like Viktor Frankl, in that moment of enlightenment, when he can see God, when he can see spirit in the guard that's abusing it. That is a powerful moment. When you can stand across from somebody who is yelling at you or taking your world apart, and you see God there, that's a powerful moment. And the rest of the time, if you're not getting those flashes of enlightenment, it's bringing your mind back to center. Back to center, and just being present with your loving self, without needing the person across from you or the situation to be anything different than what it is. If you have not, and I've talked about her before, but if you have not read her, I suggest you read Byron Katie, Loving What Is. It's amazing, amazing work. She was at her very, very lowest. Life was falling apart, and she was in this room. You know, she had family and everything. And she was so low, she thought she had to get on the floor because she was too high on the bed because she felt so low within herself. And as she's laying down on the floor, feeling so low, with her face against the floor, she sees like a beetle or something that's coming across the floor. And she's just watching the beetle. And at that moment, she realizes she's the observer. And she realizes how gorgeous and beautiful and wow this beetle is. Amazing, amazing creation, the beetle. And that sort of reality started to flow into her. And out of that whole transformation became Byron Katie's work, Loving What Is. Understanding that whatever shows up, whatever happens, we just love what is. We don't need it to be any different. We don't. Somebody came to me the other day and said, Patricia, you know, there's new people here. It's a growing community. We should wear name tags. And this wasn't, Rebecca and I talked about this too for the senior pastors. This wasn't you that I'm talking about. And just say it. And they, you know, where people could put their names and stuff. And I said, you know, if people want to, they can. But, you know, we're a pretty rebellious community. People don't want to wear name tags. They don't want to do that. Oh, I said, they want to keep asking your name until they remember it. I'm one of those. I said, I'll remember it after a while, but I'll never forget the face. But, you know, I want the communication. I want to come up and I want to say, you know, now, good morning, what was your name again, right? I know it's you know, I want to have that kind of communication. And that's what compassion is. Right? It's that ability to just stand heart to heart with any person or any situation and have that communication. Amazing. Amazing what can show up. Amazing what will come over you in waves. It's just absolutely phenomenal. So here's the third part of what he says. So he's talking about, you know, the sun and the air and it doesn't stop shining and all of those things. He says, in that same way, selflessness free from attachment or compassion used with wisdom means that one goes beyond the way you want to do things. If you can let go of making yourself the most important person in the world, there will be more capacity and spaciousness within you to work with others. You will find more space, time, and energy within yourself. So here's the thing, when students first come in, I say, they're like, I, and does anyone remember? I say, it's not all about you. And then at some point, as they're working through it, I say, well, it's all about you. And then we finally go back to, it's not all about you, is it? These are stages, in and out. It is all about you, but it's not. I mean, I'm here having the Patricia experience. I'm Patricia E. Of course I'm doing that in my own unique Patricia way. But I'm at the stage where I know it's not all about me. But I can have this wonderful experience as Patricia holding space in the world and compassion. Now, would I like things to be a certain way sometimes? Yes, I'm very human. I would like things to be a particular way, thank you very much. But here's the thing. When they're not, I can use my wisdom, my divine wisdom, to know that's okay. And I'm going to notice it, and I can learn something really unique from that. Really deep, really unique. So, what I invite you to do this week, because I like to give you a takeaway, don't I? Something that you can take out in the world for the week, use it as direct practice, and just play with it. That's what we do here. Put things out and play with it if you want. So my invitation, my takeaway to you today is I'd like you to notice every time that you feel uncomfortable this week. Every time that you feel uncomfortable, uneasy, unhappy, any of the uns. Okay, so it's an yeah. So The moment that you notice the happening in your life, then I'm going to invite you wherever you're at to take a nice deep breath. And if you can't find compassion, can't find that space, there is actually something that I teach that works very well. Take a nice deep breath, and either in your mind, but if you can physically, you can do this very nonchalantly, 3 steps back. You are now in a different physical space. You're in a different vibrational space within the universe. You will notice that you feel very different in this than you did there. And you will feel somewhat distanced from it. Nice deep breath. And then try coming back into it. And see what you notice. Right? So remember, in your mind, or you can do this very casually, you don't have to say, just a moment. 1, 2, 3. All right, go ahead. No. All right, just very casually. You just this Victoria and I at the coast, we did the moonwalk, right? I won't do it because I don't want to, But, just very casually slide back 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. Take a deep breath. Notice what you notice and come back. If you're on the phone, oh, that's nice, right? Customer service. I love you. I love you. Yes, I love you. Something really funny happened. Really funny. I'm trying to remember. Oh, all right. So, I've been having this, vertigo thing, and so I had this very deep sinus infection. I had to go get my medicine. This is fun. And, it is now. And so I say to the clinic, okay, now, we've been doing this for years, but all of a sudden it's starting to pop up as a big deal. I say, all right, now you're going to call that in to my pharmacy at such and such. Oh, yes. Now, when I leave the office, you are going to be putting that right in. Yes, I am. All right, then. I just need to check one more time. Well, especially because I have a new doctor. New doctor says, okay, the nurse will bring you in the script. I'm like, no. Okay. So no, it's going to go there. All right, go. I get to the pharmacy, nothing. Right? Nothing, nothing, nothing. I'm just noticing it's been like that for quite a few times. So I take a nice deep breath. I want to be Rumpelstiltskin, really. I'm in pain. I really want to make a little hole in the pharmacy floor and then go to the clinic and make a little hole there, right? Get all upset and angry. So I say, okay, well, if it were to come over, how long would it take? Half hour. I said, well, thank you very much. Go back to the clinic. I call on my way. Well, somebody's driving me. I'm not calling and driving. I'm not a lawbreaker. And I'm being taped, so it really wasn't driving. And so we get over there, and I go in, and it's like, hello, I just called, and you said it was at the front. It's not at the front. What's your name? Can I see your ID? Can I see your ID again? How about a 3rd time? Like, oh my God. Compassion. But before I could hold compassion, the young gal did it for me, because I had to sign too. And I'm signing, and she says, oh my God, that's the most beautiful signature I've ever seen. All right, but I still want to be a little angry. She goes on, I have never seen such beautiful looping script. Like, who does that? She says, seriously, and all the time I'm like, all right, you can just stop. All right, God, I know it's you talking. Right? And I looked at her and I said, that wasn't just, and I did say this to her, that wasn't just great customer service today, that was compassion. Do you know what compassion is? And she says, well, I try to be really patient with whoever shows up because I know they're in pain and they don't feel good. And just some days we all feel like that. I said, well, today you were my divine teacher. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. And it was just her noticing. Really, nothing probably could have touched me. I was in so much pain, just not feeling well. Nothing could have touched me, but the God in her, Spirit in her, said, look at your penmanship. Look at your signature. Totally deflected it, right? Something totally different. So just take that noticing. Maybe you get to be that person this week. I hope I get to be that person this week. I hope I can remember to do that. It changes the world in amazing, amazing ways. So nice deep breath as we prepare to go into meditation. And breathe I in and out. As you keep your eyes closed, nice deep breath. Just breathing in and breathing out. And as you do that, notice all the love of the universe flowing through your in-breath and as you give it through your out-breath. Love in, love out. Compassion in, compassion out. If you can remember, the truth is you live in a loving and compassionate universe. You were created from a loving and compassionate thought. Everything you create, you have the ability to do that from a loving and compassionate place. Every moment of your life, all of your noticings, all of your manifestations. It doesn't have to be hard, that's a thought. You can just remember who you are. It doesn't have to be work. Your place in the world, your way of being, can be a place of joy. A place that fills the whole universe, inside you and outside you, with all possibilities of loving creation. By the way you look at people, the way you talk, the way you look at yourself, the way you talk to yourself. Just remember, I am love. I am compassion. I am unlimited. I am free to be my whole loving, compassionate self. I'm amazing. And if I'm amazing, then everything around me is amazing too, isn't it? Everything. The moment I notice it, from the ant on the ground to the biggest cumulus cloud in the sky, and everything in between. Absolutely amazing. Just like you. And if that's okay, take a nice deep breath. Just silently say to yourself, I am love. I am compassion. I am unlimited. And I am willing to experience all of those things. Yes, I am. Let's take a nice deep breath. Allow your body to start coming back into this room. Noticing your chair. Noticing your beautiful and wonderful self in this room. Slowly opening your eyes. That's it. And notice all the beautiful love in this room. Now, before we start our closing song, in this very open and receptive place, I would like to let you know that we've been working really hard to do the Love Project, loving our veterans exceptionally. And that's going, I hear a little echo, so I'm going to come up here. And that is going live on Monday, the 22nd at 6:30. So for those of you who this is new to, what we're doing is we have clinical hypnotherapists and meditation experts, people who have some tapping, emotional freedom tapping, and we'll do that as a group for our vets, no charge. We're going to do that once a month, and then afterwards we'll have chairs set up for energy, Reiki, and massage for our vets back there. So 6:30, Monday the 22nd. If you're a vet, this is for people who are experiencing PTSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome. So, but even if you're a vet and not experiencing it, you're welcome to come. Here's what I'm asking you to do. If you're not a vet, I bet you know one. Okay. So can you help us spread the word? Can you let the vets know that you know in your life the work we're doing here? This is not like Sacred Space is just opening their space. We're opening our space. We're not saying please come to our services. We're not tying it to anything like that. This is just a project of love. And there's many people involved who don't come to Sacred Space. So if you could help us spread the word. It's called the Love Project. Loving our veterans exceptionally. We're going to go live with that Monday, September 22nd, 6:30 here. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. So let's close with our closing song, I Am That I Am.
Oh, stand up.
of you, but not for others of you. So what a great day to love yourself, right? Oh, yeah. So this is what we do. We hold ourselves and say, what do we say? Oh my God. Now we're going to do it one more time. And this is what I ask you to take out this week, remembering. 1, 2, 3. Oh my God. I love myself. Thank you for coming. Let's have some time together.